Hey everyone, the day we've all been eagerly awaiting has finally arrived, the launch day of Final Fantasy XVI. The demo of Final Fantasy XVI is out now and it gives us a taste of the new world, captivating story and exciting combat system. Initially the game will be exclusively available to the PS5 starting from today, 22nd of June 2023, but don't worry, it's just a timed exclusive and will eventually make its way to other platforms. Now I want to take a moment and share my unscripted, unfiltered thoughts on the demo, so this video might be a little everywhere. Let me start by saying this demo was absolutely mind-blowing. As someone who has played Final Fantasy for most of their life, with the exceptions of a few games and Final Fantasy XIV included in that, I wasn't sure what to expect from this team that created 14, but they truly exceeded my expectations. So I'd like to dive into why this game deserves its 18+ rating. With a fun twist, brace yourselves for thrilling adventure filled with epic battles and some serious bloodshed. But that's not all, prepare for a touch of romance with a sprinkle of saucy moments, and don't be surprised if a few colourful words escape the characters' mouths. Final Fantasy has definitely stepped into the uncharted territory. Will this be popular? Who knows? The opening scene is incredibly compelling. It immediately establishes the power and significance of the Dominant and the Icons, making it clear that these are formidable forces. Let's say it's one of the most captivating opening scenes I've ever experienced. The pacing was just right, allowing us to connect with the characters without overstaying its welcome. Now, I'd like to talk about the Archduke. I believe they aim to achieve a similar impact to that of King Regis in Final Fantasy XV, but that fell a little short in terms of screen time, the father-son time. However, unless you've watched The King's Glaive, you won't have seen this father-son time in the Final Fantasy XV game. But I do believe that they got this right in with the dynamic between Joshua and the Archduke and Clive and the Archduke. I thought Joshua was going to be the character that gets on my nerves, but surprisingly he isn't that character. In fact, his voice acting is so endearing that it can't help but make you want to protect him. And then there's Annabella. And please believe me when I say she is more evil than Sephiroth and Seymour Guado put together. And if you haven't played the game, then go play and see for yourself. Annabella places her focus on Joshua because he was chosen by the Dominant of the Phoenix, and if you take note of the relationship between Clive and Annabella, Clive being the firstborn son, you'll notice she pays him very little attention, and when she does acknowledge him, you can clearly see her disdain towards him. The reason behind this neglect is because Clive wasn't chosen by the Dominant of the Phoenix, but he does wield an ability of the Icons. This is actually shown in the demo. His treatment from his mother is quite disheartening, and it leaves you kind of feeling really frustrated. The neglect becomes quite evident when Annabella visits the training grounds, and even the guards notice and can't help disapprove. Unfortunately, being queen, there's not much that you can do about it. As for the combat system, I would really like to hold off on making a final judgment until I've had more exposure, but I will say this, the gameplay is solid even though the combat in the story section of the game demo is relatively simple. It gives you a steady pace to once again familiarise yourself with the game before throwing too many things at you. This is one of the sections where I do think this game exceeds itself. At the start you will notice two options, story mode and combat mode. And I would suggest if you're a newcomer to Final Fantasy or not so au fait with the combat system, then choose story mode, because this mode will equip your characters with extra accessories and allow you to focus on the story. Whereas combat mode is for veterans of Final Fantasy, because combat mode will only equip your characters with the most basic of accessories, and it allows you to experience battle to its fullest. In my opinion, Final Fantasy XVI has a strong chance of being a serious contender of the Game of the Year title. Even though Square Enix hasn't created an open map on this game, I do believe it will be quite popular. So there you have it, my raw and unscripted impressions of Final Fantasy XVI demo. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to stay tuned for more updates. And until next time, take care and keep gaming.